of Nations. Our buddy CF Sweetman
Oh,
is also
oh,
real good.
all right. Hello, everyone. It is day 15 of Daily Casts. We are just basically a weekend away from Vantage Point being out. March 2nd is right around the corner. But we still got some scoops to talk about. I have three fantastic guests on tonight to talk about all things. Ooh, that's the wrong thing. All things Netrunner and some of our cards that got spoiled today. Before I have my guests introduce themselves, I'm also going to mention tomorrow I am doing an early stream. It's going to start at noon Eastern time, which if you're watching this live is what is that, 16 hours or so from now. But it's also already scheduled on my YouTube page, so you can go check there for what time that's going to be. And AMS and I want to say I should know this name off the top of my head. Do, 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 Komodo, who helped work on AMS's pretty uh, absurdly high quality spoiler game, will be on to talk about the making of that in addition to the cards tomorrow. So definitely one to watch. And I now want to make sure. Okay, good. My audio is in fact going out. I realized I was possibly not talking to no one. All right. Well, we have a load of scoops to talk about today and a bunch of great guests. I'm going to have each of them introduce themselves, talk a little bit about how they got into Netrunner, how they're involved in Netrunner these days, and then what their favorite card from Scoops season has been so far. Evie, you are first on my list, so could you introduce yourself to the stream?
Hi, I'm Evie. I got into Netrunner around 2023-ish. Um, I played not Magic. I played Hearthstone, and I got out in 2021 because the monetization got worse than it already was. And 2 years later, I got into Netrunner. Um, was there anything else besides naming the card I was supposed to do again?
Just how you're involved with Netrunner on these days.
I do card reviews on my blog, iwi.online, and I um, volunteer at Null Signal doing web dev.
Fantastic. And yeah, if I forget, please remind me to put a link to your blog. It's been a fun read to go through. So,
I have not
uh,
been doing that many card reviews this set because I've been really busy.
yeah, for sure. But I don't know. I found your blog in general interesting, and the little bit of time you've had for Netrunner also. I always enjoy reading people's thoughts on
Oh,
Netrunner.
my
Which,
favorite card this set is Magistrate Revon. Is it Revon Toulet?
oh, you're asking the wrong person how to pronounce a word. Let me go and
Oui,
pull.
oui, Revon Toulet.
Let's go and pull her in. Apologies for the slightly potato quality on this one, but
Do you need a higher quality picture?
I have a higher quality one. I just didn't want to drag it in and give people full print and play full quality. Um,
It's on Netrunner DB. Like Netrunner DB is full
yeah,
print and
yeah,
play quality. You can print and play the cards from Netrunner DB.
that's fair. That's fair.
Uh,
I don't worry about it. I guess. Oh no, you care because the art is part of why you like the card. So okay, I will go and get the better version of the card. Uh, Here we go.
I rate all cards off of their art.
Okay, well, Magistrate is certainly one of the most aura farming arts I feel like we've got in this set for sure. Uh, yeah, very neat card. Fantastic. Well, thank you, Evie. Penguin, can you? Oh, I think you guys have ended up out of order.
Yeah, I have to drop off the call and hop on again. So I
Ah,
see
fantastic. Okay, well, I'll
you
just
over
fix
here.
the thing while you introduce yourself, Penguin.
Cool. Yeah, hi. My name is the actor.
Oh, you're breaking up a
Okay,
little.
all right.
You're breaking up a little for me. Um,
give me a second. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, let me know and I can try something else. Anyways, yeah, hi. My name is Yasser. I'm Janet. Uh, in the San Francisco Bay Area meta. Shout out to Alyssa Liu. How did I start? I think I started in 2014. I think it was on the top of Board Game Geek. I didn't play in any serious way, but I did play on Octagon for about a year. And then I fell off the game completely somewhere around 2015. And then in 2024, I was in another board game group and I was talking to someone there and I remember how Netrunner came up, but he mentioned that there was a San Francisco group. And then I just went, met up with them and yeah, been playing ever since. How am I involved in the game? Mostly through playing. I try to attend a lot of the West Coast events.
Nice.
Dipped my toes in commentary here and there. I commented Katie, I think, and a couple other tournaments. And if you're on Blue Sky, I have a Netrunner meme account. But I'll talk about that later, maybe. Uh, Favorite card from the spoilers. I don't think it's the best, but I'm really interested to make it work somehow. But I really like Witch Hunt. I
Mm.
love playing BN, and just want to stick a Witch Hunt under an amaze and just make you take tags one way or another.
Yeah, Witch Hunt is a cool card. The visual allegory is quite good, and I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, this there's I think one of the best things about spoiler season is like we don't just have to talk about the best decks. We can talk about the things that are exciting and interesting and you haven't got to do before. And yeah, I think Witch Hunt is it feels like it's opening up some new possibilities for NBN, which is kind of cool.
That is
And
true. I love talking about exciting and interesting decks such as playing PD.
well, we have some. I think we have some cards that I don't know if any of them will go into PT, so that's a good sign at least. And last but most certainly not least, Prof Wacko, could you introduce yourself?
Hey all, Prof. Wacko here, Wack, from the Philippines. So shout out to the Metro Manila meta. Started playing Netrunner. Wow, it's been a while. What year was it? I started playing way back in 2014. So I'm an old head. So that was like mid spin cycle, I think. Uh, I don't remember how I actually picked up the game. I bought it then, and I've been playing ever since. I don't think I ever stopped playing. Maybe just the lulls in when the game quote unquote died in 2018, and COVID happened, so stopped playing for a bit. Then um, nowadays I am mostly well, I organize events in our local meta in Metro Manila. Um, and I try to attend all the online events too, as much as I can.
Yeah.
Uh, the curse of the tournament organizer is you gotta play at the online ones if you can't play locally.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, what was next?
Uh,
Favorite
f-
card revealed so far. I'm excited for Let Them Dream.
mm,
uh, as a person who fondly remembers when GFI dropped and the decks that came out, I think it's gonna be very uh, interesting. Like what decks get enabled, and yeah,
yeah.
it's just kind of gross, running through an entire server and stealing 1 point. Uh, yeah, exciting
Yeah.
stuff.
Very cool. All right. Well, we've got a full board of spoilers ahead of us. So first up, we've got two cards courtesy of Jai. There's a link to his spoiler video below. Um, definitely recommend checking it out and making sure you're subscribed and following Jai's channel. Jai's done some very nice text reviews on YouTube, which is certainly a way to interact with YouTube, but honestly one I appreciate quite a bit. So Jai's takes are always worth it, and hard to go wrong with the People's Champ. So give him a like and subscribe. The first card we've got here is Take a Dive. This is a 2-cost Anarch run event. It's 4 influence, so you know it's going to be a little bit spicy. And it says run HQ or R&D. If successful, and if a subroutine resolved during this run, give the corp 1 bad publicity, and then remove this event from the game. The walking flatline will never know the difference between a Cyberwall and a Scythe and Tan. Use that fact. Cracking corpse for fun and profit. Who would like to?
It's Phoenix support, right? I mean, it straight up has the same text as what Phoenix has on them.
I love this card. Central ice is usually somewhat porous and hopefully not too problematic. If it is Saisentan, then it's a different story, but you're probably going to get this fired off, usually. And I'm interested to see some play patterns with it, whether corps start putting PTR ice or not even resing ice just to save themselves from this.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
You go first. You go first. I'm looking something up.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot. There seems to be a lot of support for this Let Subroutine Fire archetype, which is literally Phoenix. There's Stick and Poke that came out. It was revealed like one of the first couple cards, right, that got revealed. So that's like a consistent way to get this event to trigger. I think it's relatively harder than the other bad pub card we got, which was Compromat. So it's gonna, and it's removed from game versus Compromat, which I don't know, in the faction that doesn't really have event recursion.
Compromat also is removed from game. They're both.
Oh, it's also removed from game. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Compromat is the corporate choice.
Yeah. So Compromat is like, I think I do agree that Compromat in theory has an easier condition, but Compromat is like non-deterministic, whereas Take a Dive is, which I think is an interesting difference between the two cards.
Compromat's like
you finish.
It plays into the econ denial thing, but Take a Dive is you kind of have to run your support cards to get it to fire.
My hot take is that it's not necessarily guaranteed that you need to run have your support cards to make Take a Dive work. Like how often is every subroutine an end to run or something really bad? Like a lot of cards say things, like Afshar, which says the runner loses 2 credits, which sucks, but you'd probably be willing to pay 2 credits to get a 1 bad pub. There's stuff like Maskirovka, which does gain 2 credits for the corp. All sorts of subroutines that you probably would be willing to just eat. Also, according to Juniper on Mastodon, this could maybe be true or maybe not be true. Take it up with Juniper if she's lying. It's maybe loop in the art.
I'm trying. I guess actually, you know what? I could see that. It would not be my depiction of Lou, but there was sort of a virtual space Lou alt art that we did for Worlds a couple of years back that this definitely bears some resemblance to. I guess another thing to comment is almost every ice that's been spoiled so far in this set has a non-end the run subroutine on it, so it should have some interactions with most ice. I think we're actually getting the exception to that later today, but that might be the only ice that's exclusively end the runs. that we've seen so far. So there's definitely going to be some options for Take a Dive.
Milanomi has confirmed it is Loop taking a dive. Really just playing up that soccer injury or whatever, you know, like
Did we confirm that the other animal, I think the animal, is from the Jinteki ice, or is that debunked?
I don't know. And I think probably I have to have someone from NSG Art to come on and talk about it, and so I have really no idea. But it looks. I mean, I will say to me personally, it looks a little bit different. But I really could say for certain.
but yeah, I think you would probably just run you would just run Take a Dive in some decks that would benefit from the bad pub credits without needing
Any dedicated support, like the Ice Wizard Corpse will just kind of line up so that you can run down. You'll be able to fire Take a Dive enough.
It's two centrals. How many times have you run a central and not had at least one subroutine you would be willing to not break? Like usually you break it because it's one credit is, cheaper than eating it. But with Take a Dive, the calculus changes a bit. If there's at least one subroutine that is worth more to you than the one credit it would take to break it, then you probably would be willing to eat it. Same for clunkier math breakers, things like 2 credits break 2 things.
You can also look at like Botulus and Loop.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Botulus, so you don't need to break everything. You can run earlier and get some value out of that.
People ran Mining Accident. People ran Mining Accident, and Mining Accident is worse than Take a Dive.
Also, like, how often does Orb put like end the run ice on R&D? So like the fact that it's H2 or R&D and it does the same effect. Usually you're not incentivized to run R&D over HQ, but maybe in this case, it's much easier to do it on R&D and get hit with whatever. I'll take the tithe.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the dynamics of the game is like, generally it's better to not put like end the run ice tend to be less taxing for the runner, and so that's often the incentive to put them on centrals, and so this then kind of targets that weakness, which is interesting.
I will note there's one deck, or at least one version of one deck that incentivizes not putting end the run ice on centrals exclusively, and that is the classic Restoring Humanity 6 Agenda Suite deck. The one that's like super punishing and goes full Glacier. The explicit recommendation from versions of the deck list that I used to play was that you put your end the runs on centrals and you're taxing ice on the scoring remote. Because you would use Skunkworks, or you'd use Skunk and Void to act as your end the run after you tax them.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean that definitely happens.
Restoring Humanity stocks up.
I mean, this does like promote Glacier, I think, or like Glacier is favored against this, right?
Yeah, Glacier probably has, on average, more ice where you can't let subroutines fire, whereas like a lot of asset decks, their ice isn't designed to keep you out; it's designed to make you pay, and so Take a Dive like offsets some of that in some way. So it definitely feels a little bit matchup and meta dependent, but it's like, okay, I guess it's definitely gonna be a card that like I expect to see in every Ryu deck for a while. Definitely seems like a card that like will go well because it has more or less the same trigger condition. Pre-cheat asking this banner works with this. I think that's true.
Yes, banner does work with it because the subroutine fires It just is not in the run.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's probably the only, like, obviously with Bankar around, this card would be really, really strong. Um, but that's you can take that to Eternal, I guess. So
I guess we're not getting Banker back anytime soon.
yeah, I
But
think
it's in the district pricing. I don't know what you're saying.
no. That card was always Raindrops Cut Stone. No,
No, it's
nothing.
Raindrops, right?
Yeah. Any other thoughts before we move on to Jai's other card, which I think is also a pretty interesting one to talk about? Well, actually, maybe I'm the only one who thinks it's interesting, but
The art on the other one is a banger also.
yeah. Well, the art on this card is probably more like this is. I don't. Yeah, this piece of art's just kind of it's doing so much without being nuts, I guess, right? Like it's not like it's super visually busy, but at the same time there's lots of great little details in it. But I should probably read what this card is. This is the Tungsten Tailor. It is a unique 3-cost Anarch hardware, and it's 3 influence. Each piece of ice gets -1 strength. The first time each turn you break a subroutine on a piece of ice with 0 or less strength, gain 1 credit.
Welcome back, Ice Carver.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was gonna say.
Ice Carver with like 2 significant buffs, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like I think being a hardware rather than a resource is a big deal. And then also you just get a whole extra line of text.
Well, no, I think you can stack multiple ice carvers, but you cannot stack multiple tungsten tailors. It's unique.
Ice Carver was also unique. But
Oh, was it?
yes, it's a small diamond in the art though, so definitely not any knock on you for not remembering that. Especially because the card was very rarely played as more than a 1x. But
Yeah, I thought people only ran it as a one of.
yeah.
So I was like, I mean, I guess that makes sense. It's not really a card you'd want to run more than one of, but especially as a unique.
Mm-hmm.
So
I just said
a permanent strength reduction, and with the current suite of ice that's in the game, I think people have to reevaluate their ice suites with this card just existing.
Yeah.
I mean, you have, it'll be chiseled with the first run. The one strength ice, which there's actually quite a few of. Brew will probably save you a tag. So if you're playing it in Seb, you might want that tag. Yeah, Buzzsaw's talk is even higher than ever. All the 4 strength code gates are very cheap to break with this and Buzzsaw in hand. So
all of the ice breakers with awkward breaking points, they are now 3 credits simpler to use in this meta.
I'm looking at it. So, do any of you want to guess how many ice this text of you get back a credit is active for? Like in standard card pool with just what we have spoiled, how many ice have 1 or 0 base strength?
tattoos are massive, pings are massive.
Yeah, I guess
isn't
I was more just
2 strength, or is it
no.
one
Tattoo
strength?
is 1 strength. Yeah.
Oh.
I was gonna say I just meant like the total number of ice.
Yeah. Hit us.
I'm gonna guess 10. Nice round number.
I'm not going to answer because I would get the urge to just look it up on Netrunner DB.
Yeah, I mean that's what I did while you all were talking, so I'm cheating. It is 20 pieces of ice have 0 or 1 strength, and I'm gonna
basically 20 credits.
I'm gonna there's I think 1 banned one on this list, and it's also okay. It is also counting Logjam, which is probably almost never a a 1 cost piece of ice or a 0 strength piece of ice. But Ablative Barrier, Afshar, Bathynomus, probably doesn't count. Descent, Echo, Event Horizon, Fly Swatter, Kesselroyd, Paywall, Ping, Pulse, Scatterfield with an asterisk, Tatubola, Tithe, Vertigo, and White Space. So I look at that and I'm like, man, I feel like I have played against at least 2 of those ice in every single game of Netrunner. And so you could potentially, like, I think unlike Ice Carver, like, I think this might literally give you back the liquid credits within like within like 2 or 3 turns. Like, this will be, I mean, I think it's reasonably likely that this could be a credit neutral card beyond just the savings you get from the Icebreaker effect, which seems pretty interesting to me.
Also pretty cool that it's the first time each turn you break a subroutine, so you can still fire it off with take a dive and Phoenix.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
just
you can,
one subroutine.
yeah, you can have all of your cakes at the same time if you really want. You can take a dive, make a credit breaking the end the run on Afshar, lose two credits, so you're only actually down -1, and then get the corporate bad publicity. And then you can use that bad publicity to make your turn. You can use your Tungsten Tailor to turn that bad publicity into future credits if you want to. So, yeah, I don't know. I think this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a good card. At 3 influence,
Yeah.
is it gonna see play outside of Reg Anarch?
I mean, someone mentioned that you can't gachapon for it, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, you cannot gachapon for this.
Yeah, that is
You
definitely a downside.
also,
And there's
That's a
basically no hardware searching in the game at the moment.
you could price for it, and I don't know if Shaper got any jank hardware stuff with all the Hiram jank. Although I think Hiram would run this just because I think they would run any card in the game that has the word hardware on it.
There's Malandragam uh, in Mercury decks. I saw someone in chat say Mercury stonks, so
That was me.
okay. See you. So everything that's 4 strength, if I'm remembering, Malandragam.
Oh yeah, Malandragam carries
It
about
matters,
strength.
right? It matters.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of ice that would be annoying to deal with become bypassable. If only Malandragam was like actually kind of good instead of like something you make do with.
You can't make it too good.
Yeah, we can't be too good.
I was like, I'm trying not to make this like the Borealis play. Oh no, this wasn't Borealis. Okay, there was versions of Melantrogym that were not this bad, and boy, that was a card. But people asking, is this a spork? I'm like, how? I don't even understand how people are asking that question. It's clearly a needle, and it's a card called Tailor. Like, I'm confused.
I mean,
Yes, there's probably a fork on the plate, but I don't think that's the Tungsten Tailor. I think it's instead this enormous needle with multiple cables coming out of it. But
No, they used to sell tungsten sporks.
I don't think you would
remember
call
this
it a
period of
Tailor
time.
though.
I remember like during that like peak gamer nerd think geek era of things. I remember seeing people like them selling like tungsten sporks. Or no, it was titanium sporks. Never mind. Anyways, yeah, it is probably the giant needle.
Yeah.
Especially because there is, I think, thread going in the back.
Yes.
Maybe.
I've also got to ask, since Stick and Poke was printed in the same set, was the needle like designed intentionally to, make us think about sticking and poking into things?
Who knows? I assume not, because
Um,
stick and poke are virtual, right? And this is a very physical object in some senses. Like, I love the little, like, I forget what you call it, but like the wooden like pegboard in the back, uh, with different
it's like
stuff
one
on
of
it.
those IKEA boards or whatever you
That's
see.
a workstation for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like this is very much a workstation of someone who's like, they've got cabling, they've got notes to themselves, like they've got little arts and posters on the wall,
And
they've got
there's a
cables and
there's a Phoenix
yarn.
And they've got a
poster, right?
spork.
Is that
Oh,
right?
that probably does say
So
Phoenix,
like,
doesn't it?
yeah. So it's like the card is telling us use Phoenix.
And that's why it's going to see playing Crim.
Yeah, I mean, it's, like Criminal was playing Leech, and like obviously this is, I think like Leech being one influence is probably better. I'm trying to remember how much influence was Turbine. It was 2, right? No, it was 4. So
Yeah, I
like
was gonna say.
it
Turbine at 2 influence.
if Crim could find space, I feel like I remember. Oh, no, I guess it was Anarch that was finding space for Turbine. So Crim might still struggle to find the Tungsten Tailor space because they're usually spending 6 influence on Dr. Nukas. Um, but
Well, what are you spending your
Uh,
remaining 12 influence on? Or not 12, remaining 9 influence on?
Deep Dive and I
Icebreakers.
don't know, Icebreakers. Yeah, all sorts
If you're
of
running
things.
deep dive, you're spending, I think, 10 influence on deep dive because you run like
Yeah.
2 of them, right?
Yeah, usually at least.
Do you play
Um,
this in Shaper, considering that Game Dragon is a thing? I know it's different, but it's a free influence.
Yeah, I think like Game Dragon, while not a like standout card from Elevation, probably like the places where it's good are probably about the same places where Tungsten Tailor is good. Maybe not quite, but I suspect like Shaper is not hugely incentivized to spend 3 influence on this. I could imagine a world where Crim does look at this, because that one break point often can be, it's like Shibboleth ends up being a card that like criminals really want to run, but has a couple of awkward break points, with a lot of 4-cost code gates in the mid to late game, and Tungsten Tailor does solve that, which is kind of nice.
so I do have good news for everyone. 3 Devadatta drones plus 2 Pretty Mary plus 1 Eru plus 1 other 1 influence card leaves you enough influence for 2 Tungsten Tailors, which is great for Mercury.
That gets 1 yike from me.
Yeah, why would I want to run Tungsten Tailor?
Scary
Because we're
world.
Melandric,
We're
bypassing the ice that
Yeah,
way.
Melandric
Right.
stalls.
Yeah. You're Melandrigamine, and then you would use Tungsten Tailor
A
for
banner is how many strength? Sorry, how
Banner.
many?
Banner doesn't matter. You would never run Banner in this.
Well, you could run Banner in a Mercury deck. Like they did.
So-
I've tried. It does not work.
I have also tried.
Any situation you'd run, Banner does not have more strength or does not care about ice that are bigger than what Melandrigum cares about. So any situation where you'd care about Melandrigum or care about Banner, you just use Melandrigum.
Okay. Well, any other thoughts on the Tungsten Tailor?
Play Mercury, y'all.
Don't do it.
You should
I'm,
play Mercury. I was the one that started making Mercury a menace. So you can show up to my house and get mad at me when Mercury wins Worlds this year.
yeah.
With Sable Band, Mercury is the value Crim, right?
Well, if Mercury gets too good, they're just gonna get banned. So
I don't think Mercury will get a ban if they win Worlds unless there's anything like incredibly and frustratingly disgusting. But Mercury is very fair, guys.
We also had 2 spoilers today, courtesy of Card Gamer magazine. Sorry. Okay.
Shout out to Kenny Suzuki, I think.
Yes, I actually let me double check, because it's probably worth making sure this attribution is correct. It is linked in the description below. Definitely worth checking out. Yeah, Kenny Suzuki. Thank
Great
you.
article.
Yeah, it was a good article. Definitely recommend checking it out. Um, all right, but the first card we got was Reverb. This is a 4-cost HB ice. It is a barrier and harmonic subtype. It is 2 strength, 1 influence. And it says the res cost of this ice is lowered by 1 credit for each other unresed piece of ice. And it just has 2 subroutines that say end the run. The flavor text, everything on the net is ultimately just information. Light, sound, runners. If you could reflect any, you can reflect all.
Cool ice.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of this. It,
Probably gonna be played in an asset HP.
I mean, it's got a strength of a gear check, but it's too expensive for a gear check. By the time you have enough cards to lower it to a reasonable price, it's fairly breakable. Maybe it becomes the taxing central's ice. I don't know.
I've forgotten the res cost of Castleroid. Okay. So if you have,
Asteroid is, I think, 2
It's
credits.
two.
yeah. So it's like, okay, if I have 2 other ice down, this is a Castleroid with a +1 strength, which is maybe something.
I like how they're both spheres in cyberspace.
Yeah.
I think the thing that maybe is worth keeping in mind is that Reverb, how do I put this? In your first turn, a very common HP play is install, like draw, install, or install, but one of those installs is like in the root of a server, or install credit. And usually what you are installing for those first 2 installs is ice. So what I'm saying is buy around turn 3, or not turn 3, turn 2. Reverb is about as good as Castleroid if it was part of your first turn installs. And it gets probably, I mean, if you're running it in like a harmonic deck where you would normally be running it over any other card, then it does obviously get better because you're going to have more de-resed ice as the game goes on, because you're going to be resing and de-resing and all that jazz your ice, because that's how you play harmonic ice.
Yeah, and I mean, spoilers in the next, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, but there might be some more deer, I think, so you might get some econ value from it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's, I think this is an interesting harmonic card. Like, I guess it's, to me, a little interesting that it's got the harmonic subtype despite not actually referencing like every other harmonic subtype. Actually, no, I guess wave also doesn't actually hook into harmonic. Oh no, it does in the subroutine. So this is a harmonic ice that actually doesn't have any mechanical hook on harmonic, which is, I think, an interesting way to be like, hey, we want to give this archetype some value, but we're also not going to like, make it a evergreen like cycle. It's just going to occasionally get support in a way where like, yeah, cards can have it, but it's not going to be it's not going to be part of the power budget of the card. So it'll be interesting to see, like, I think, yeah, wide HB assets is definitely a potential home for this. I was going to say, like, I'm trying to think if there's any other wide decks would want this.
I mean, I think if you're running Scatterfield, you might want this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, that's not, I guess I meant, like, are there out of faction, like, would any other faction consider running this because it is 1 influence?
Wayland would just run Castleroid, although if it didn't have Castleroid, it might run this. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think.
Actually, no. NBN might run this because it has the word "end the run" on it.
Yeah, I guess ping often does what envy like.
It might be copies 4 and 5 of ping in case
That's
you need
fair.
more
Yeah, a
cheap
little bit of extra and the
cheap end the
run,
runs.
especially
Because
What's
if.
the
NVMe's not allowed to have like real ice.
what's the influence of ablative?
That's a good
Ablative, I
question.
think, is 3.
Oh,
I
never
thought it was
mind.
maybe 2. Yeah, it's
It's
2.
2. Okay. So yeah, maybe if you're short on.
Yeah.
I think that is, yeah, one influence is very easy to justify because you usually have maybe 1 or 2 sitting around after building your deck. While 2 influence is a lot harder to justify.
Yeah, one influence. There's not that many one influence cards, and sometimes having one influence can be really nice. But if we're not that excited about this card, it's funny. This card is one where like I think this card could be pretty interesting, but like I'm a HB asset sicko, so like of course this card gets me excited. Um,
Sengren is literally like yeeking out right now at the idea of playing fully operational on his server that has a humanoid resources in the root and a reverb protecting it.
I mean, look, you don't have to call me out that hard. But there's another synergy piece potentially with this card, which could be interesting, which I'm going to call Realloc. I probably will just call it reallocate almost every time I actually refer to it. But this
We'll
is
call it Realloc because I program.
yeah, this is
Coward.
a zero cost operation double, and it says as additional cost to play this operation, spend a click, choose 2 rezzed pieces of ice. For each chosen piece of ice, gain credits equal to its printed res cost, then de-res it. And then flavor text: all service will be indefinitely suspended by 11:59 p.m. tonight. We apologize for any inconvenience. And it is 2 influence. So
And how many players rejoice?
yeah, for sure. This definitely is like a how many on res effects can I stick in my deck to make this card very annoying?
I'm already imagining some mirror morph anemone front company Realloc deck that we're gonna see.
I've seen someone joking about using it on Biowalk for Val. Oh, that was in the Kenny Suzuki article. He's talking about using it
Yeah,
for Biowalk for that big Biowalk bucks. 14 credits.
yeah. Realloc the Biawax.
I mean,
And
I would straight up play this in Alco, right? Like I said, I know I was joking about Anemone, but like, how many times would you love to fire Anemone in Alco? Um, Also, you can get the res effect of Cloud Eater more than once per game, which scares me.
it doesn't scare me.
Uh,
The only thing scarier than paying 10 credits to hurt someone is having to afford 10 credits that second time. I mean, it gives you the money back, but
Well,
you're going to spend
because
it by
yeah,
then.
Yeah, it gives it back. You're fine.
You're going to
yeah.
spend it by then. If you give me 10 credits, I can assure you it will be gone by the time I need to afford the Cloud Eater.
I mean, that is actually a good point. It does give you back credits, and if you're short on credits for your, I don't know, it is a double, so that's a little bit trickier. But like, your end of the lines, your measured responses, just
That
buying
that
those
is
big
what
guys.
that is what like Kenny Suzuki brought up is that you would reallocate your Beowalk to set up your or to afford your end of the line combo. You don't really care about having that big protection anymore if you're about to get your kill off.
Yeah, that was a
Also, then the catch is that you would have to
it,
afford the end of the line. So
yeah. So
maybe
there was an old
um,
Netrunner card, Blue Sun, and part of its idea was like, yeah, you could res your big expensive ice, and then you just return to hand on the turn where it mattered, and then go and blow up the runner. But of course, Blue Sun is clickless. Realloc is almost the opposite of clickless. It is click full, and so it feels like it's gonna be a little bit tricky to kind of line that up with a if I have to do a bunch of other things to dump credits on the same turn. Um,
I guess
but
one thing that might matter more than more often than not is that you have to choose 2 pieces of res dice. Like, sure, you're setting up probably 1 big ice to de-res. But how many times are you gonna? I mean, Will
It's
there be
one
a
big ice
second?
and then your anemone.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
That's at least 13 credits.
Yeah, do think there's like, in HB you have ablative, which like I don't think you're that excited. I guess we probably should shout out like it does become something of an actual econ card with reverb, and like potentially you can res a reverb for close to free, de-res it, and it will actually be close to free again because you've still been de-resing, so you get some of that money back, at least in theory.
Watch out, all Thunderbolt gamers. You're about to make 4 credits.
I was gonna say,
What's
I'm impressed we haven't
This
talked
is
about
going to be the card
Thunderbolt.
that finally saves Thunderbolt.
Hold on. Lightning Laboratory says at the end of the turn, right? Oh, runner's turn. Never mind. I thought there was some free ice shenanigans we could do.
Oh,
I think
maybe.
unironically, for ablative, like there are times when you're trying to protect something and the threat is not free, and you're just like, I do want to end this run, but I don't want to waste the ablative's ability. So, like maybe not unironically, you do that. You do use it as a gear check early game, and then um, you res it later on when it's threat free.
Yeah.
I'm
going to shout out
excited
one of my
for-
favorite cards,
oh.
and Vovo Ozzetti does synergize with this piece. And it synergizes this before or after kind of thing. So, like, I'll love an excuse to play Vovo Ozzetti for a little bit. I'm not sure. Realloc feels like a card that, like, I feel like I'm missing something because I don't feel like HB has that many good on-res effects. It's like Wave, Pulse, Bloop, and Ablative, and I'm struggling to even think of another one.
You're missing where this goes. You run it in your Thule deck with your Ivergar bifurcations and your Jupstad grids, and then that way what you do is you can pop your anemones over and over again, and they already have 87 core damage, so they're definitely going to die now.
Mm.
If I just keep on naming cards, Isengrin won't be able to talk because he'll be too busy having to pull up card pictures.
Yeah. I like this is also I know I actually like this is I'm just gonna also because I feel like I always gotta make sure to talk about the art. Like even though this isn't like the most detailed piece, like it's like I don't know, it's a piece I like for like just having a very different aesthetic and vibe. Yeah, it's very vibes.
It's very vibesy. It feels I'm gonna pull up the art on my computer.
It does evoke
I think it feels
fully
like
operational
oil.
a little bit, but like in a more, I would say, developed art style. Like a little more, it's a little more intentional about that style.
What I like is it feels a little bit oil paint-y. There's some like glitch effects that you would not be able to do very easily in oil paints. But like sort of overall the vibes is it feels like it was kind of done with like big brush strokes.
Mm-hmm.
And the brush just happens to be magic and have textures or whatever.
Yeah. Lunari, who helped of the spoilers, as people said, calling out Logjam. So maybe Realloc is just a card you actually splash, and you just say like, "Yeah, I'll de-res a Logjam. Oh, look, it's even bigger now," and definitely could see some uses for it. I think out of faction more so than in, but honestly, that could be cool. And maybe it's HB's turn to share some cards around rather than just stealing other people's. So,
I mean, Wayland would.
Funniest thing would be to reallocate your logjam only for it to get Hermes.
I was gonna say, push your luck game in that case.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Realoc's
I think
an interesting card for sure.
Mercury stocks up. People are gonna de-res their ice, and then Mercury's gonna be like, "Hey, buddy, nice ice there. Be a shame if anything happened to it."
Cold Lava. Oh yeah, Cold Lava shouting out one of my favorites, Envelopment. I've definitely I've definitely played one of my most cursed games of Netrunner. I think I was playing Baz and derezzed the same envelopment twice, and it had something like 8 counters on it. No, yeah, I think it had because it like ticked down a little bit in between when I it was so yeah. Envelopment is another solid shout for a res derez thing in Wayland. So maybe it'll find a little bit of a home there. That's kind of interesting. Any other final thoughts before we hit our last spoiler for the day?
No, let's go to the last one.
All right, this one comes courtesy of, I'm going to forget the channel name, even though I just looked it up. It is Rigging Up, which does a nice variety of different Netrunner content, and just a couple days ago released a classic in the genre of players of a different game look at Netrunner cards. So people should definitely check that one out. But they have I think, pretty interesting card for us. This is Lotus Haze. It is a 4 advancement. It's a Jinteki agenda with a advancement requirement of 4. It is worth 2 agenda points. It is a security subtype, and it says when you score this agenda, place 3 agenda counters on it, and then host the agenda counter. Move 1 rezzed upgrade to the root of another server. And then the flavor text, warn you, useless. Once they make the biofeedback stick, all you see is what they want you to see. Witch of the Woods.
Okay.
I love this card.
Can I start with Jeff? I know you've been joking about arts giving you so many choices for playmats. This is gorgeous. I think this
Yeah.
is my favorite art from the set so far.
Agreed. It's so
This
nice.
needs a playmat again.
Yeah, no, this is a fantastic art. It is to me an amazing combination of both Lotus Field, but also Obokata Protocol. Like it is the other card this evokes to me quite a bit. Yeah, the Obokata. This is. I don't think it's actually the Obokata door. I think the Obokata door had a different symbol on it, but it still evokes that. Yeah, the Obokata door had a Jinteki logo as opposed to a Lotus logo. But
And I love the Lotus callback.
yeah.
That he thinks to have
Oh, Lotus Field is not going to work, is it? Oh, it is going to work. This is not the most iconic version of Lotus Field, but it's gets a similar vibe across. Yeah, I don't know. I think I guess the other I think this card's also pretty interesting to like from a gameplay standpoint. It feels very tricksy and shell gamey, but I suspect it's got a decent amount of power and usage to it. So I'll be interested to see. Do you guys feel like there, or do the three of you feel like there's anything you want to try out with this card in particular?
Give me a second. I'm looking up every Jinteki upgrade.
Yeah, I love this card.
I
Because I don't know if it's the strongest, but it has so many like creativity options and avenues, right? I think people talked about moving their red room so that you miss it and then you can actually end the run. Same thing with Anoetic. I think a neat trick is moving the upgrade to the pinhole server so they can't access it. It's just so many things you can do with it.
Yeah, I think
I would note that the pinhole thing is trickier because there is not a window between them declaring where their target and then you being able to Lotus Haze it.
No, but that doesn't matter
there
because
would have to be
the pinhole is when successful. So you can, when they declare the server that they run with pinhole, then you can Lotus Haze, move the upgrade to that server, and they can no longer trash that upgrade.
Oh, I
and
see.
pinhole is
That's
not
smart.
optional. You have to use it.
Yeah, you have
I
to
was
use pinhole, and you
thinking
have to
of
choose a card in a different server, which is.
I was thinking about it the other way around, which is
I
that you
see.
would that you were trying to move
Escape it.
the item in the server to a different server and not just moving it to the server they're running.
I see. Yeah. So I think the idea with like you can use this to quote unquote beat pinhole by like, oh, they pinhole to go after your Anoetic Void. by pinholing like they make a run on archives pinhole. You move the analytic void to archives. Maybe you just have the analytic void and the agenda, so they see the agenda, and then you can just agenda counter, move that analytic void right back in when they go to make their run, which is kind of a funny option.
Another cool thing is it doesn't say once per turn.
Yeah.
So you can just move it back right after you move it.
The chat shouting out ganked. You can just put a ganked on the board, and now you can move the ganked to wherever the runner is going to be. It could be silly. I'm glad
The
that got
problem
Grimace
is
out
that
of
you
someone
can't
here.
use Lotus Haze to also move the Cloud Eater that your ganked is protecting.
Yeah, that is true. We don't have any instant speed ice swap, probably for good reason, but
We do. We have Mitra.
Yeah, you're right.
But
You're
not,
right.
Not on the sale.
We do. You're
Oh.
right. Never mind. We have the most cursed server. You just install a Mitra, you install a ganked, and then you just make the runner so mad anytime they try and do anything. Oh no. Oh, Jaina
Yeah.
Casual, you're gonna ruin me.
Here we go.
That's
Other fun
so
options, I guess Adrian Sace, who is bad, but maybe less bad in a Lotus Haze world because, you know,
I don't even think Adrian Sace
then...
is bad, but
I've never once thought Adrian Sace. Adrian Sace has always been mildly annoying, but has never been necessarily that good at its job.
That's fair.
I think the one question for me is, does it replace the current flaws that Jinteki has for 4-2? Like, Propriety Negation is an extremely strong 4-2. Usually decks that are playing Propriety Negation in that, like, kind of mid-level Jinteki want the off-world office credits.
Yeah.
Like, it's really fighting for slots.
Yeah, I think that the fact that this has to fight with off-world office, like, maybe there's a world where you can, but I think it's like, oh, you have to get enough money from somewhere else, and like maybe Melius U is like gonna get you the money that off-world office would make, and so it's worth it to have a card that does more direct winning the game stuff.
I feel like maybe it would be more fun as a 1/3 or a 3/5 with an additional line of text that does like very basic minor protection, because
yeah, 4-2 is a hard slot, and
yeah,
it's tricky because like 3/1s are also like 3/1s I feel like have to be extremely strong to see play. So, and it's like this is a funny card where I'm like, I don't even know, like if you put like 10 counters on this, like I don't think that actually changes the power very much. It just makes the number,
but it does make it more fun. JNet casuals become permanently ruined as you keep on moving all your upgrades around forever.
Yeah.
It sounds like my idea of a fun weekend night.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm
trying to think, can you do, is there any, what are there damage upgrades? Like, can we, like, I guess you can move an Angelique around, right? You could move,
I guess, but you'd only leave it. I guess you would stick it on a thing. I mean, I guess you could use Angelique with Lotus Haze or to combo it oh, but no, because you just stick Angelique in the server with Anemone.
Yeah, I wondered if
I
you could do
guess it
something
could
with
be-
like, I'm like, can you do like an Alco or some other style of kill deck where you
Oh.
like just move a Mr. Hendrick onto a server
What
that
about
like has other traps?
Hollow Man? You could
Just-
use Hollow Man twice in a turn, I guess. No, you can't.
No.
You can't do it. But you could move it. It moves by itself.
Yeah, Hollow Man does move by himself, which is a little bit
Oh, but the upside, I guess, is that Lotus Haze could give you like some last minute, like, am I allowed to swear?
yeah.
Was that a yes?
Yes.
So if you have like an oh shit moment with Hollow Man, like they managed to get in, or like Pinhole, uh, then you could move Hollow Man using Lotus Haze on the runner's turn, which gives your Hollow Man extra survivability.
Yeah.
It might be one of those things where it's a consideration. It moves Hollow Man over from a um like Lotus Haze plus Hollow Man could move like nudge some Jinteki decks into like using Hollow Man
Hmm.
because it's a good card, but I don't really think Jinteki decks use it.
Yeah, there's some scoring alcos that use it for a little bit, though I feel like they often switch to wage workers after a certain point. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's a decent shout. I don't know. I think this is like a creative. This is like an interesting. Actually, now I'm like, how many upgrades are there in standard? I don't even feel like I feel like I don't even know that many. Uh,
I have every Jinteki upgrade in front of me.
You can
and
move
we've
a
talked about
Lacoste in like
all the reasonable
acid
ones.
spam. You can move Lacoste in an acid spam or like a Alco style
Yeah,
deck.
yeah. It's like I
I
guess
feel like the drawback of a lot of this jank is that it's step one score a 2/4 and then step two finally my jank works,
yeah. I mean,
which is
yeah,
annoying.
yeah. I mean,
But
I
what's
think
more netrunner than that?
that's
Score
fair.
two
That's
four.
fair.
Yeah, but
Uh,
I mean, I think this is under similar considerations for why I gave Let Them Dream 3 stars
hmm.
because I did not think it was going to be meta defining or even like very predominant. Uh, I thought it was going to be maybe maybe somewhat common or uncommon, but not, a huge card that actually affects the meta in a major way, like people think it is. And I think it's because that 2/4 spot is just too highly contended.
Hmm.
Uh, there's not too many good 2/4s, and too many of them like are things that you want to use over even cards like Let Them Dream, off, uh, stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
off proper negation. I feel like there should be other ones. I mean, it's not technically a 4-2, but Sisyphus Protocol and Shinteki. There's like
Azef and Wayland, which is
yeah,
also not a 2/4, but um,
yeah. I mean, yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah. Most factions have more good 2 point
There's
agendas
also
than they can play
there's
right
also
now.
lots of two threes, which are very highly contended.
Hmm.
Like, if your goal is to get points, then you're not willing to work in that extra agenda counter to get any effect, then that's also not relevant. Um, so I think because of that, like you run into the big problem of just how much do you really want to score 4/2 to get an effect when you could get it 7 credits or have one fewer counter.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think it's a I think this is probably not a card that will be super competitive, but I think it's a card that will be interesting to play, and like I will want to try it in some decks and just see how much value I feel like I can get out of it. Um, no, I don't know. Um, any other thoughts on Lotus Haze before we wrap it up for the episode?
Play Mercury, baby. Mercury
Yeah.
number one.
All right. Well, thank you all three of you for being on. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Remember that tomorrow's show is going to be at noon Eastern time, which at time of me saying this is in 15 hours or so. And AMS will be on along with some of with another one of the creators on the pretty amazing spoiler game. So we will be talking about that as well as spoilers. So definitely swing by to check to listen to that discussion. And we'll have the last batch of daily casts covered spoilers. They might not all be out. There might be a world where some of them get spoiled relatively close to broadcast time, and I will just let them have their time and direct people to those spaces. But I'm not worried about having things to talk about tomorrow. I also want to give all of my guests a chance to plug something that they're excited about or working on. Evie, we'll start with you.
Make sure to go to iwi.online. That is iwi.online. I was not able to get ev.online. So iwi.online, EWIE, which is my blog, basically the only website on the internet that matters. I have a review for Vulture Fund, a review for Let Them Dream, and a review for Amelia's City Luxury Line, and nothing else. Oh, and like actual blog posts.
Fantastic. Prof. Wacko, how about yourself?
We're doing our districts in, I think, 3 weeks. I don't think people will be flying in, but if you want to do a random vacation in the Philippines on March 14, come over. We have really nice beaches, and yeah, you can play Netrunner before you take a vacation. So yeah, we have that, and we also have Mega City sometime later. So come over, please.
You'll sponsor vacation tickets for me, right?
We
I'll
can
come
talk
down.
about
All right, and
is it the week of the 8th through 14th? Because I have that off from work.
and Penguin 3, how about yourself?
If anyone's on Blue Sky, and if anyone's a fan of the niche Netflix comedy show, I Think You Should Leave, you might enjoy my Blue Sky account, I Think You Should Run, or ITYSL Netrunner. I make memes about Netrunner, and I Think You Should Leave.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I've definitely there's a lot of snare bears who are really into I Think You Should Leave, and so those get posted with some regularity. Definitely they have been quite amusing when I do get them as someone who has only dabbled in I Think You Should Leave. But fantastic. It's great to have all three of you on. Thank you so much. And I will see everyone in just a little bit for the last day of Daily Cast spoiler coverage. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.